Hi everyone, so in this video we are going to be taking a look at how we can move our cursor around. So what I want to do is I want to add something to this file and I want to add it to the end. So let's say I want to add a 3 here, but I don't want to use the append mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this mode to R+, uh, and if I just run this program now, it would just replace my 0 with a 5. Probably that's what I've done here. So let's just try doing that. And that's exactly what happened. So let's change this back to a 0, let's say. And what I want to do now is I want to take my cursor within the program to the end of the file, and to do that I just use a function called Fseek. So Fseek basically changes the cursor position, and the first argument that I need to give to this function is which file are you talking about. So I give fptr, so I'm talking about the file which is cp.txt, which is in fptr. And next I want to say how much I want to move the cursor, and I'm going to give a 0 here. And the reason I'm giving a 0 here is because in the third argument I can give it something like start of file, end of file, or the current cursor position. And here I can just give the end of the file, and what that would do is it would just take the cursor to the end of the file. And if I used some other non-zero number here, that would mean I want an offset of some characters from the end of the file, which I don't want right now. So here all I have to do is write within all caps. I write seek underscore end, and that takes my cursor to the end of the file. So let's just save this and try running it now. Let's just change this to a 3, and let's try it out. So as you can see here, I've got a 053, and basically when I open a file with R+, my cursor is at the start. And I can even just change this to, let's say I change this to the beginning, and for the beginning I need to use seek underscore set, and let's say I give it an offset of 1 this time, and I change this to, let's say, 7. Let's try it out now. What this is going to do is it's going to start off here, then it's going to get an offset of 1 from the beginning, so it goes here, and then it writes the 7. So let's run this. So as you can see, I got a 073. It didn't override the 0 right here, it actually overrides the 5 that was here, and that's because I moved the cursor one step ahead from right here. I moved it here, and then I wrote a 5 instead of this character. Sorry, I wrote a 7 instead of the 5 right there. So that's how I can move around my cursor. And what I can do is let's change this to a 5, and after I've replaced this 7 with a 5 again, I'm going to say now don't override the next character, but just go one step ahead again. So I do fseek fptr and then a 1 again, because I just want to skip this one character, which is the 3, and then I give it a seek underscore cur for current, and then I do, let's say, n equals 4, and fprintf. Actually, let's just copy this from here. So I do that, and let's try this out now. So as you can see, I got a 5 instead of the 7, and then it skipped the 3, and then it went ahead and wrote a 4 here. So that's what this seek current does. It just gives me the current cursor location, and it just what I'm saying here is just move +1 from there. And I can also mention a negative offset. This is basically the offset from this position right here. So I can mention a negative offset if I want to go back. And that's basically how I move my cursor around. And what I can do is I can also print my cursor position. And to print my cursor position, I just use an integer, and then I do an ftell. That's the function that I want to use. Fseek is to move the cursor around, and ftell is tell me the cursor position in the file, and it only takes one argument, which is which file am I talking about. So I'm talking about fptr. That's the file that I want. And let's actually have this right after I open my file. That would be here. So it'll tell me the position there. And after I move it by 1, let's just do it here as well. And then we print the number. And then let's just do it here as well after I move it again. So I can actually get rid of this one right here. And let's try running it now. So as you can see, when I just opened my file, my cursor location was at 0. Then I moved it to 1 from the beginning, so it gives me a 1. And then I wrote some character, and then I moved it by 1 again, so it gives me a 3. If I just remove this fprintf right here and then run it again, it'll give me a 0, 1 and 2 because I didn't write a character. So after I moved to 1, I didn't do anything. So it just goes one step ahead when I do the fseek here. So that's about moving around our cursor in our files. And this basically brings us very close to the end about of our discussion about files. There's just one thing that I want to talk about, which is using your standard console input or output with these fprintf and fscanf. So we'll take a look at that in the next video. That'll be the last one on files. So stay tuned for it.